Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our council meeting of March 23rd. We will begin with being resolved that the agenda for the regular council meeting of March 23rd be adopted. Can I have a mover
Henry Siemens.
and a seconder?
Marvin.
And are there any additions? Hearing none. All in favor? That is carried. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting on March the 9th be adopted. Mover?
Don.
Thank you, Don. The seconder?
Karina.
Karina, thank you. Any errors or omissions in those minutes? Hearing none. All in favor? And that is carried. Correspondence. We look at correspondence from the Boundary Trails Health Foundation. Invitation to a golf course or golf event this summer. And we'll just use that for information. I guess, Jody, you will take a look at that. And then the next one, going on to the municipal relations letter, bulletin in regards to change in the current reassessment cycle. And I teased David before that would probably mean that they would give us a discount because they're going to be reducing this over a longer period of time.
So we're skipping assessment year?
Yes.
They're moving it 1 year back. Usually they start to work, they would have started to work in 2021 this year, and then the reassessment year would be 2022. But now they start to work in 2022, and the reassessment will be in 2023,
Okay. So your current assessment will be,
for 3 years now.
okay. Interesting.
But they're still going to charge the same amount of money. You better check that out. Okay, any other questions regarding the municipal relations assessment or letter? The next one, a bulletin for Manitoba Fire Departments. And regards to COVID restrictions, I guess there had been some confusion on what they could do or couldn't do. This provides some clarity. I would imagine that Richard is fully aware of that one.
He's aware and he was already ahead of the game.
Have they been training?
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
online.
They haven't been having drill?
yeah, we do have, we started now
Okay, yeah.
with the captain platoons
Okay.
are doing actually we're doing all now because we're training Wednesdays and Thursdays now. So
Okay.
one does Wednesday and Thursday. So. But yeah, and when I saw this, I said they took the book, took right out of Richard's book, this information. Yeah, he's very diligent.
Yeah, he's a gem.
The other thing is confirmation in regards to the building inspections that we talked about last week. And this makes that part official. So thank you for making us aware of that. And we go on to the accounts payable. Be it resolved that the accounts payable in the amount of $2,069,630.93 as approved by the Finance Committee be approved for payment. Mover,
Henry Siemens.
seconder.
Andrew?
Any questions regarding the check register? This should be for a little while, probably one of the biggest payables again, because I think we're almost wrapped up with MEC. Like this looked like it was getting to the end of that list, so should get down to more reasonable checks after this. All in favor of this? That is carried. Lot sale to Cloverdale Builders, 967 Adora. Oops, I'll go back up one first. Lot sale to 100-834-382 Manitoba Limited for 947 Adora. Be it resolved that we approve the sale of Lot 11, Plan 61-340 MLTO, otherwise known as 947 Adora Avenue to 100-84382 Manitoba Limited for the price of $84,397.93. Mover,
Henry Siemens.
seconder.
Marvin.
Any questions regarding that lot sale?
Do we know what's going there?
It's someone who's doing construction and some light manufacturing.
Okay.
All in favor of that sale? Carried. Next one, be it resolved that we approve the sale of Lot 9, Plan 61340 MLTO, otherwise known as 967 Adora Avenue, to Cloverdale Builders Limited for the price of $84,397.93. Mover,
Henry Siemens.
seconder.
Don.
Thank you, Henry and Don. Any questions regarding that one?
Same question. And
Same thing.
Same
he's
answer?
Having his own construction site or building
building his own shop.
for his own business. yeah.
Nice. Good.
So these two are not related to the same party, just separate. Okay. Good. Any more questions? All in favor? It's carried. Be it resolved that the swamp meeting minutes of March 17th, 2021 be reviewed for information. Mover
Andrew?
or received for information. Thanks, Andrew. Seconder,
Michael,
Michael. Any questions regarding the swamp minutes? Hearing none, all in favor? And that is carried. Moving on to community services. Be it resolved that Community Service Committee meeting minutes for March the 9th, 2021 be adopted. Mover,
Andrew?
thank you. And a seconder,
Karina.
any comments or questions regarding those minutes?
Just proud of our staff there. Doing a great job keeping that thing purring. It's busy. I like it.
Yeah, looks really good. Anybody else? Questions? All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that Central Manitoba Tourism March 1st, 2021 meeting minutes be received for information. Mover,
Karina.
seconder,
Marvin.
any questions regarding those minutes? All is good?
All is going very well.
Super. All right. All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that PV Lip February 18th, 2021 meeting minutes be received for information. Mover,
Karina.
seconder,
Michael,
any questions or comments regarding PV Lip?
Thank you guys for joining us on that event. It was a great event.
It was an awesome event
Yeah.
just to see the different dynamics of the different community members.
All's well with this group?
Yeah, it's going well. We're in the process right now I'm the chair of the working group for welcoming and inclusivity. And so we're in the process of adding or incorporating and giving the options that we found through our studies or whatever to the municipal boards, or to the municipalities to see if there's any policy that would be interested in being adopted or just having that discussion. So I'm not sure if that would be a PV RAM opportunity. I was going to talk to you about that. but
Probably would be.
I don't know if we want to go just PV RAM or if we want to open it up to all of the different municipalities that are incorporated with Pembina Valley or PV Lip. But either way, it's a great,
Mhm.
that's our next step. So I'll
Okay.
be setting that meeting up in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, I had a conversation with Don Weeb just this last week, and he thought too, before seating would begin, we should have another meeting, so it could be relatively quickly if you want to see if something could work.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right, all in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that the Winkler Family Resource Center meeting minutes for January and February 2021 be received for information. Mover,
Michael,
seconder,
Karina.
any comments, questions regarding those minutes?
they are ambitiously moving forward with would it be after-school programs starting in September if all goes well, and looks like they've got grants for that, and we should have that available come the next school year.
Right
How
on.
did your fundraiser go for your munchkins?
Went well. I haven't heard numbers.
Okay. I saw your busy binders. Very well done. That's
Mhm.
a lot of work that those ladies are
Yeah.
doing there. Very well done.
Yeah, they've Kathy along with Jen and
Mhm.
yeah, they're I can't think of the title now. the ones that put the binders together.
Mhm.
Anyways, yeah, she's got some great help there now,
Yeah,
and
that's good.
those wheels are definitely turning a lot smoother. And
That's awesome. That was a great opportunity for them to continue to stay connected to the local
yeah,
families
for sure.
during this lockdown.
Yeah.
So that's really great. It's a huge kudos to them for doing that. It's a lot of work.
All right, thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that the Winkler District Healthcare Board meeting minutes for March 18th, 2021 be received for information. Mover,
Marvin?
seconder,
Karina.
any further updates or comments from there?
Nothing further. Is fantastic support from all our municipal boards, members, representatives.
I see there's doctors coming.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting.
Yeah, we're squeezed out of our existing space
Yeah.
again.
Again.
Do you know where the level of service is in this region compared to where they would like to be? Are they looking for?
We're getting a lot closer than we were.
Yeah.
But they still see, even just by natural growth of the area and so on, the need, once we get to the desired level, to add at least 2 positions a year, right? Isn't that?
That's what I heard.
Oh, wow.
That's what I
Just,
understood.
just to keep up with, and it's obviously, we know that it's not just our town, like it's a larger
Yeah.
area. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. All in favor? Thank you. Be it resolved, this meeting of council recess for the purpose of holding public hearings. Mover,
Karina.
seconder,
Marvin?
Don, or Merv, Don, Merv, no, Don, it's your turn.
Don's, yeah. I
You're
didn't
just
hear him.
quiet in the back there. All right, all in favor? And that's carried. Okay, this is time for the big guns to come out.
Big show.
Yep.
Cue the music, eh?
Exactly right.
Oh, it is. Thank
You
you.
need music?
Glad there's somebody between us. Need music? What are you expecting?
The Eye of the Tiger.
Okay.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that.
What are you thinking here?
New shoes?
Only numbers. What's that?
New shoes?
I have
You're
to disappoint
horrible.
you every year. Okay.
Welcome here, David.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for being my audience today. I appreciate that. At least Scott showed up as well, and Jordan from our office, so that's good. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming as well. So I like to present a 2021 financial plan for the city of Winkler today to you. And before we dive into some numbers of 2021, I like to take a few minutes and like to look back actually into 2020. Oh yeah, I didn't have it going on, it works. To see what happened actually in 2020. I think 2020, it was a year of COVID, but I think for us as a city of Winkler, it was a year of great success actually. A year of where we had great projects that got completed. And for example, the MEC. We had the opening of the MEC, the largest project so far that we have ever had on our books. I think that was very exciting, and it doesn't matter who walks through that building, everybody just absolutely is blown away by it. And we are just overall just very, very happy to see that project finally came to completion, or almost to completion. We also had the addition of a accessible playground, a Jumpstart playground, and Parkland Park, as well as a brand new golf course building, which was not a city-run project, but also at the end it becomes a city asset. So that's why I have it here on this slide here as well. Also, if you look at some of the numbers, you might think last year it might have slowed us down because of COVID, but actually, if you compare to previous years, these are residential permits. We were pretty much at the same level as 2019. In 2020, we had a total of 147 building permits, and you can see how it's being divided up into single family, 2-family, basically duplexes, or multi-family permits. And when it says 61, that means dwelling units. It's not that we had 61 multifamily complexes. Actually, that's based on dwelling units. So also, we received over $6 million last year in 2020 in grants and donations. And as you can see, for example, on the left side, over almost 4.5 million received in grants, the majority coming from the province and from the feds. We also received a $767,000 COVID support, 500,000 through basically through corporate support. That is the money actually that we received towards the playground, Jumpstart Playground. And but you see also on the donations how much we received on donations, and also over $1.5 million in donations, coming to a total of over $6 million. It's a very large amount. And if you think about it, $6 million, if you would have to levy it onto taxes, our tax bill would look drastically differently than what it is today. So big thank you for whoever supports the city of Winkler. So now this is the first slide where you can see the mill rate for 2021. And it's a slight increase from 2020. In 2020, it was 12.327. Now it goes up to 12.925. That's the mill rate for the city of Winkler. For the Garden Valley School Division, their mill rate goes slightly down from 13.74 to 13.43. And in the upcoming slides, we'll be talking about what that actually means for us. So this is the assessment. 2021 was not a reassessment year. So you can see the total overall assessment for the city of Winkler, that's the dark blue bar, is just exceeded $1.8 billion. And you can see basically these yellow, green, and orange lines, that's the percentage increase. And you can see it went down from 2020 because 2020 was a reassessment year. So it went down to just over 3%. From last year, it was between 10 and 15% because of reassessment year. That's very typical. You are over 10% during a reassessment year, and then during a non-reassessment year, you dip down to around 3. At least for us, that's the average what we have seen in the past. So there it is, our growth this year. Basically, our total assessment grew by 3.22% from last year. This is just growth. Since it's not a reassessment year, this is just growth what we saw in Winkler. And 26% of our total assessment comes from commercial properties, 61% comes from residential properties, and then 30% other, which includes schools and churches. So this is our total debt. This year, we entered with a total debt of $17.76 million. And the majority of that comes in from the Marine Exhibition Center. Even though we have made already 2 payments on that, we started off at $70 million. Now it's down to 15.26. And then we have just over $1 million outstanding on the fire hall, and then some minor amounts for Northland Sewer and Red Robin Lane. And by the end of this year, we will be down to $16.64 million, which is basically means we'll pay off over $1 million in principal this year. So this is a slide where basically you see the relation between the reserves and debt. And you can see starting maybe from 2010, how our total debentures went down all the way to 2018. And then you see this big increase. That's because of the Marine Exhibition Center going up to almost 20 million. And now it goes down again. If the wastewater treatment facility will be added this year, you will see another spike in 2021 or 2022, depending on when we will add the debenture. And then you see the reserves on the blue line, how it increased from 2010 all the way to 2019. You see a slight dip in 2020, a further dip in 2021, and that's because you will see on the projects later on as well. The city of Winkler in the last few years has seen a lot of large capital projects. So that basically means we withdraw more from the reserves than what we put in, and we'll talk about that a little bit in this presentation as well when we touch the capital plan. So what to expect now for 2021? We talked about the mill rate is already 12.925 mils. That gives us overall a budget increase of 7.69. So this is the net budget increase overall, what we as City of Winkler can work with. And that is a tax increase on residential as well as the commercial tax bill of 4.85%. It's the same increase because it's not a reassessment year, so the assessment didn't change for any of the commercial or residential properties. So that's why it's the same increase for both of them. So if you take an average assessed home in Winkler, of 230,000. Again, the assessment has not changed from last year, and you would multiply that by 45%. You would reach the portioned assessment, and then if you multiply it by the mill rate of each given year divided by 1,000, that would give you the municipal tax. Because there's a waste fee for residential homes, because 3 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, we made it as a fee. It was no longer actually included in the mill rate, but actually separated as a flat fee for every home. That flat fee has, again, not changed from last year. It stayed the same at $110. And you add that to municipal tax, that brings you to the total municipal tax of $1,447.74 for 2021. So that's on average, you will see roughly an increase of $62. Could be less, it could be a little bit more, depending on what your assessment is on your personal home. And that, again, gives you a 4.85% increase. So what does that mean? $62. If you love to go to Tim Hortons, that would mean 31 medium coffees. Since you're not allowed to travel today, you will not spend fuel. So 7 kilometers of fuel, or also for meals of Subway. So we talked about that roughly the tax bill will be, and I'm talking about the municipal taxes, not the school tax included now, will be roughly $1,448. So, but as a taxpayer, you might look at your tax bill and say, so what do I actually purchase now from the city of Winkler? What do I purchase with my taxes? And this is a list of basically the items, the services that you as a taxpayer will receive from the city of Winkler. And you can run down that list. I mean, for example, $145 would go towards general government services. $274 you would pay for police protection, $63 towards fire protection, $199 for maintain that we have the streets maintained, but also the basically cleared from snow and so on. $173 goes towards fiscal services. This is the line where we pay our debentures out of, basically for the Meridian Exhibition Center, Northland Sewer, and so on, what you saw on the list before. And then you have some smaller amounts for some departments, and then $238 goes towards recreation services. And I like to highlight this number now, the next line, transfer to reserves. $190 is being transferred to the reserves. It's an amount that it's not spent in 2021. It's being budgeted in 2021, but it's being put into a savings account for future capital projects that the city of Winkler will have in the upcoming years. And we will talk about that now on the next slide, because this is the capital plan that we as the city of Winkler have worked out for the next 25 years. And this is where the $190 goes into. Basically, as you can see right now, if you would look at 2021, 2022, you see the amount required exceeds the amount approved. So right now, the requests for capital projects exceed the amount that basically are being transferred into a savings account. But as you go on and you reach the year of 2034, you can see that that accumulated shortfall becomes smaller and smaller. And by 2045, you come to a point where you have no capital deficit. So that's where the $190 goes towards to maintain the capital plan for the city of Winkler. So what does it mean for someone who has a commercial shop, let's say in Winkler? If you use an assessment of 500,000, this time you have to multiply it by 65%, and again by the mill rate divided by 1,000. For an assessment of 500,000, you would pay around $4,200 to the city of Winkler, which is almost a $200 increase from last year. And again, that represents 4.85%. So it is the first time where you can actually see the overall budget, the budget that we have for the city of Winkler. And it's sitting at $18,539,552. But not the full amount, not the 18.5 is being levied onto the taxes. Technically only 66%. Only 12.282 million is being levied onto the taxes. The rest of it, the city of Winkler is able to generate through other revenue. And on the next slide, we will be talking how the city of Winkler is able to generate those revenues. It's just sitting over 6.2 million. So this is basically a breakdown of the 6.2 million that we were just talking before. And if I start on the top with the added taxes, roughly 450,000 is being budgeted that will come in through added taxes. And almost 400,000 would come in through protective fees and fines. The majority of the 400,000 comes in at the city through the agreement that the city of Winkler has for fire protection for the Arm of Stanley. Then over 3 million comes in through provincial and municipal tax sharing agreements, including the gas tax grant and general operating grant from the province of Manitoba. And so almost 700,000 we were able to generate through user fees at the pool, at the arena, at the MAC, at the campground. And almost 900,000 comes in through other revenue. The majority of that 900,000 is being represented by the grant that we received, the recycling grant that we received also from the province of Manitoba. Then 400,000 is being budgeted for sales. This is industrial lot sales at Clover Creek. And just over 300,000 from investments, basically from our savings account at our bank account. So this is a breakdown where you can see what goes towards what department. For example, the $18.5 million, that total budget, and you can see it starts on the bottom with administration being the blue, red being police. So you can see what portion goes into which department. And then the second from the top is being transferred to reserves, the purple one. Again, I like to highlight that one. And the next slide basically shows you the same information, just in the pie chart. You can see that 13% is not being spent, it's being transferred into the reserve. And then you can see, for example, that 12% goes towards fiscal services, 10 towards administration, 19 towards police, 14 towards transportation, and also 14 towards recreation and culture, and then some smaller amounts to other departments as well. The utility budget this year has not changed from last year. It's at the same amount. And our utility budget is $4,350,303. And some of the capital projects on the utility side include upgrades on lift stations, the repair at the George Street Reservoir. We like to continue with our water supply licensing, as well as purchasing of water meters and hydrant replacements, as well as continue with the sewer lining and manhole restoration program, totaling just over $2.1 million. And this does not include the wastewater treatment facility. The water treatment facility, oh, I thought we were talking about on the next slide. We're not yet. Okay, so our employees, one of are our greatest assets. And last year we had 76 full-time employees, 8 part-time, 5 casual employees, and 39 seasonal employees. And you can see how it's basically, it represents 34% of our total operating budget goes towards wages, and that represents $6.4 million. Just to give you also some numbers on the equipment, it seems that we had a little bit less snow. I think we all would agree with that. So our total snow removal hours went down as well from 19. Total mileage of city equipment used is also slightly down, as well as the total hours of city equipment used. I would probably say it's also COVID related, that we worked on cohorts, right? That some of our equipment got used last, I believe. That's why some of the total hours of city equipment is down. But this is basically a total of 2020 compared to 2019. So this is now a slide where we want to talk a little bit about projects, the big project we have planned in 2021. And obviously the biggest one that we have budgeted for is the wastewater treatment facility. We just talked about that last year. We finished the largest project so far that the city of Winkler had on their books, the MAC. That will be now being exceeded by the wastewater treatment facility by almost 50 million. It's sitting at $48.775 million. It's for sure the largest project that the city of Winkler has seen so far. But this partnership project, City of Winkler will be able to receive funding of just around $38.182 million coming in from the feds, from the provincial government, as well as through an agreement with the Arm of Stanley. And that will leave us with a total portion of $10.52 million. That's the amount that the City of Winkler will debenture. And the construction is being estimated to start this year, and hopefully we can finish it within the next 2 years, then that we can finish it by 2023. 2 more projects are that we have budgeted $2.2 million for Clover Creek to further develop industrial lots at the Clover Creek development, as well as we have a total budget of $1.81 million for 15th Street. Very exciting, as you can see on the picture. I'm very excited personally about it. We are planning a roundabout at 15th Street and Roblin, so very happy about that. 2 more projects are that we have a budget of $890,000 for the repair of George Street Reservoir, and also a net budget of to purchase a grader, has been purchased already, of $255,500. So this brings us to the end of the presentation. I'd like to thank you for listening to me. I hope you enjoyed it, and if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
It's a nice picture.
You did great, David.
Any questions of David? Phenomenal job, David. I know this isn't something that just hatched overnight. It has been probably almost a year in the making from when I started seeing the traffic going in and out of your office before last fall, already getting ready for this, and then coming to this place. So great job. Thank you for
Thank you.
the leadership that you show in the city, and for your diligence to featuring the savings account. I can just imagine what yours looks like.
Not as good.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much. All right, therefore be it resolved, this public hearing for the 2021 financial plan be closed. Mover?
Karina?
Thank you, Karina. Seconder?
Marvin?
Marvin, thank you. All in favor? That is carried. And moving on, therefore be it resolved that the financial plan and capital budget for 2021 be approved. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Seconder?
Andrew?
Any comments?
I think maybe just to echo your comments already, Martin, on the tremendous job that our staff has done putting it together. That was no small feat in the middle of the uncertainty of COVID as it continues to be here, to put forward a budget that I believe sets us up well for the future. Thank you very much to all of the staff for doing that, but certainly your leadership, David, in leading that parade.
Thanks, Henry. Anybody else?
I always appreciate how you simplify it by Subway amounts, you know, just as a regular folk.
All right, all in
Calling yourself
favor?
regular?
I'm
Sorry.
regular.
All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the bylaw number 2267-21 be given first reading. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Seconder?
Andrew?
And the tax levy bylaw is there so that we can go and collect what we've just spent. It's a simple version. Any other comments? All in favor? That is carried. And we have youth council rep here again. Your first budget that you sat through. Any words of wisdom?
Dun, dun, dun.
I guess there's not a lot to update on since last meeting. Karina and I gave some NPC students a tour of the mech. So that was nice for them to get out and see that. Yeah, I'm not sure. There's not a whole lot else that's changed.
I know
Okay.
a lot of them were looking for opportunities, like for how they could fundraise or how they
Yeah.
could have a celebration together at the end of the year. They're looking for ideas, and so it was really nice for their student council to be able to see all the opportunities that are available at the MEC, being able to socially distance, even with the
Mhm.
restrictions, no matter how they are, right? So I was thankful that Gwen also works at the MEC, so she has a lot of insight. So she did great.
Perfect. Appreciate it. We won't adjourn. We got an in-camera session, so we will, or do we have anything coming out of the in-camera? No? Well, then in that case, we will, questions from the media, Lauren? You got-
Welcome back, Lauren.
Yeah,
Yeah,
welcome
welcome
back. Nice to have
back.
you
Yeah,
back.
we'll see.
We get to see you.
Sure, okay. Okay, then in that case, be it resolved, this regular meeting of council be adjourned. Mover,
Karina.
Don and Karina,
Oh, I
thank
thought it
you.
was you. I assumed it was Karina.
Oh, was it
No,
you?
no, it's
Oh, okay, I thought it was Don.
Again.
All in
Yeah.
favor? That's carried. Okay, we'll go to in camera, give you guys a chance to